Bronny James, son of the legendary LeBron James. With a last name synonymous with basketball royalty, Bronny has been thrust into the spotlight since he first laced up his sneakers. Does Bronny James have what it takes to make it in the NBA? When we talk about the NBA and family legacies, a father and son duo not just making it to the NBA, but both becoming stars in their own right. It's like hitting a jackpot twice in a row, isn't it? Think about the Curry brothers, the Thompsons, the Rivers, the Hardaways, the Barrys, the list goes on and on. Sometimes the dad shines brighter on the court, sometimes it's the son who steals the spotlight. But what's really rare is when both father and son become legends in their own NBA eras. Now, imagine the excitement building up for a moment where we see one of the greatest players ever, like Michael Jordan, passing the torch to his son, or Magic Johnson's offspring dribbling down the court like their old man. Yet, reality hits hard. Jordan's son barely made it to a college team, and Magic's kids didn't catch the basketball bug. Even legends like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't pass on their NBA magic to their sons. And guess what? We've never had a father-son duo playing in the league together at the same time. I mean, can you believe it? That's why the anticipation is sky high. We're all waiting with bated breath for that ultimate father-son combo that will light up the NBA like never before. So let's talk about something that's been buzzing around the basketball world recently. We've got LeBron James, arguably one of the greatest players ever, sharing the court with his son, Bronny James. Sounds like a dream team, right? Well, not quite. Bronny might have the genes, but he's not quite cutting it in the NBA scene. Despite all the hype and attention he's gotten since he was a little hoopster, his game just isn't up to par. And that's got people talking. We've seen parents helping their kids get ahead in all sorts of fields, but this takes the cake. Bronny's getting a major spotlight thanks to his dad's legacy, but is he really NBA material? Let's dive in and find out. Now, I'm not going to throw shade, but we've got to address the elephant in the court. Bronny's skills just aren't slacking up against some of the other young talent out there. And with all eyes on him, it's hard to ignore the elephant-sized question. Is he here because of his last name, or does he genuinely have what it takes? It's a hot topic for sure. So what do you think? Is Bronny destined for NBA glory, or is this just a case of famous family favoritism? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive into the details. Let's take a trip back to the early 2000s, specifically 2002. LeBron James burst onto the basketball scene like a comet streaking across the sky. Scouts were losing their minds over this guy. And why wouldn't they? He had it all: crazy athleticism, lightning speed, ball handling skills that left defenders dizzy, and the ability to dominate the court in ways that were just jaw-dropping. Imagine being dubbed the Chosen One or the King even before setting foot on an NBA court. Talk about pressure, right? But for LeBron, it seemed like destiny was calling his name. The hype surrounding him was off the charts. People were saying he'd be the face of the league before he even knew which team he'd be playing for. Now, some folks thought all this hype was a little bit over the top. Come on, can anyone really live up to that kind of expectation? But guess what? LeBron did. Oh boy, did he ever. He didn't just meet the hype. He blew right past it like a rocket blasting off into space. So what made LeBron so special? Well, besides his mind-blowing skills on the court, there was something about him that just commanded attention. Maybe it was his charisma, his determination, or maybe a bit of both. Whatever it was, LeBron James wasn't just a basketball player. He was a phenomenon in the making. When little Bronny James started lacing up his basketball sneakers, not even hitting double digits in age, the whole world starts buzzing about his mad skills. So get this, at just 10 years old, when most of us were probably still figuring out our multiplication tables, Bronny was already getting letters from big shot basketball programs like Duke and Kentucky. And get this, even before he hit high school, colleges were showing interest in him. These programs had no crystal ball to see how awesome Bronny would become, but having LeBron's mini-me on their roster? It was like a golden ticket to viewership and cash flow city. Bronny was bursting onto the scene in high school, catching the eye of ESPN's radar as a 4-star recruit. Yup, you heard that right, 4 stars. But hold up, things took a bit of a twist. By the time his junior year wrapped up, he slid down the rankings to 52nd. And while he clawed his way back up a bit in his senior season, he held on to that 4-star status like a champ throughout high school. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still pretty darn impressive. I mean, cracking the top 100? That's no small feat. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite all the hype surrounding Bronny, the level of interest from the big college programs and even NBA scouts might not match up with his ranking. See, typically, guys in Bronny's position might not be getting calls from the top dog in college ball or catching the eye of NBA teams looking to draft fresh talent. Now, before you start scratching your head, let me break it down for you. Sure, Bronny's got skills, no doubt about it. But making it to the NBA straight out of high school? That's a whole different ballgame, folks. Most guys at his level aren't seen as those one-and-done wonders ready to declare for the draft just after 1 year of college ball. Bronny's got some serious game, no doubt. Back in high school, he was holding it down as one of the top players in his class. Solid on defense, he's like a fortress guarding the perimeter. Plus, he's got that basketball IQ flowing through his veins, just like his old man. Now on offense, Bronny's got some skills, especially when he's hanging about beyond the arc, sinking those shot-up shots. And hey, he's not just a ball hog. He's all about getting his teammates involved and showing some real court smarts. Bronny's got a habit of coughing up the ball, mainly because his handles could use some work. And let's face it, that's not gonna fly when the competition gets tougher, like at the collegiate level. Now, don't get me wrong, Bronny's got potential, but making it to the big leagues? That's a whole different ballgame. With his inconsistency in offense and shooting, especially against tighter defenses, it's gonna be a tough road ahead for him to make it to the NBA. Bronny's been grinding it out in college ball, repping the USC Trojans, but it hasn't exactly been a walk in the park for him. Nope, not even close. See, there's been this pesky medical incident throwing a wrench into his game. Bronny had a scary moment, facing a cardiac arrest during practice. And to add to the mix, he's got this congenital heart defect tagging along for the ride. Now, we're not here to downplay the seriousness of what Bronny's been through. Nope, not at all. It's a big deal, folks. But let's keep it real here. When you're eyeing the NBA, every bit of your game gets scrutinized. And with Bronny's health issues in the mix, it's raising some eyebrows about his future in the league. Let's talk stats, shall we? Bronny's been clocking in some minutes on the court, but his numbers aren't exactly setting the place on fire. No, far from it. Averaging just 5.8 per game, shooting 35% from the floor, those aren't exactly numbers that scream future NBA star, right? And let's not forget, he's doing this on a USC team that's been, well, let's just say not exactly killing it out there. Now, don't get me wrong, college ball isn't a cakewalk, and not every player is gonna light up the scoreboard like Steph Curry. But even by college standards, Bronny's performance has been a bit lackluster. And with that heart condition in the mix, it's got folks wondering if he's got what it takes to hang out with the big dogs in the NBA. Despite the hype surrounding Bronny James, son of NBA legend LeBron James, his path to the NBA is riddled with challenges. While he's shown potential in high school and college, his inconsistent performance, health concerns, and the shadow of his father's legacy cast doubt on his NBA prospects. Do you believe Bronny James has what it takes to make it in the NBA despite the challenges he's facing? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Signing off.